Kyle had been on the ship Orion Hammer for 6 months. Now most days were boring. Repair the engines. Check the coolant lines. Pretend to care during security briefings. But everything changed the day she arrived. She walked in with quiet steps. Long silver hair tied in a low braid. Tight Maid uniform hugging every curve. And bright violet eyes that watched everything. She introduced herself as Lyra, assigned as his personal maid, not a regular alien. She was Zorana race known for flexibility, obedience, and heat-sensitive skin. Especially around humans. At first, Kyle thought it was funny. By the time he passed behind her, her back would straighten, her tail would lift slightly. Like she was waiting. She cleaned silently, efficiently, but with an odd rhythm. Always stretching forward just a bit too far. Or bending over when he entered the room. He wasn't stupid. She was teasing him. One evening, Kyle returned from the gym, shirt off, sweat still glistening on his chest. His door hissed open. She was already inside, on all fours, scrubbing under the desk. Her rear raised high, swaying softly. Tail twitching side to side. He froze. She didn't move, didn't even turn her head. Then her voice soft, breathy. I didn't hear you knock. Kyle swallowed hard. I thought you were done. Cleaning, Lyra giggled. I'm very thorough, master. Especially behind, where most forget to look. Her words lingered in the air. Heavy. Sticky. He stepped forward. Slowly. Boots silent on the floor. Her hips didn't move. Neither did her tail. But her ears twitched. Kyle stood behind her now. The scent of her skin was warm. Something between vanilla and static. He cleared his throat. You sure you're cleaning and not inviting? She looked back over her shoulder. Her eyes gleamed. If I was inviting. Would you accept? Kyle smirked. I guess that depends on what I'm invited to. Lyra rose slowly. Brushing against his chest as she stood. Chest to chest. Breath to breath. She tilted her head. Would you like to find out behind closed doors? He looked around. The door had shut behind him. Locked with a soft click. No one's going to walk in? She stepped back, hands behind her back. I made sure of it. She turned her back to him, looked over her shoulder. Lips parted. If you enter now, there's no going back. Kyle took a deep breath. He stepped closer. Got close enough to touch her, smell her, feel her heat. Just as he reached out. Her tail wrapped around his wrist. He froze. Wait, she whispered. I need to show you something. She moved to the bed, slowly lifted the edge of her skirt, and there just above her tail. Was a glowing mark. A brand. Pulsing red. Like a heartbeat. Kyle stared. What is that? Her voice trembled. It's why I can't be just a maid. She turned to face him again. And unzipped her top. Just enough to show smooth, perfect skin. And faint silver lines under the surface like hidden circuits. I was made to obey. She stepped close again. Pressing into him. But I want to be yours, completely. Kyle opened his mouth to speak. But suddenly. The room lights flickered. Then, total darkness. Only the red glow from her brand remained. And her whisper. In the dark, you entered my room, human. Now you've entered something else. Before Kyle could move, something brushed his leg soft. Alive. Not her tail. The bed shifted, but she was still standing in front of him. Something else was in the room. Naughty comment. If your alien maid said, you entered my room, now enter me completely. Would you say yes, or ask what's waiting under the bed? Asterisk. Kyle didn't move. Something was still brushing his leg. It was soft, almost like fingers. But Lyra stood in front of him, arms at her sides, eyes glowing faint violet in the dark. What's under the bed? he asked slowly. Her voice was low, teasing. Curious already, master? She knelt, crawled toward the bed on all fours. Her hips swayed, tail flicking side to side. Then she peeked underneath. Silence. She reached her arm under. A second later, the lights blinked back on. Her hand was empty. She looked over her shoulder and smiled. False alarm. Or maybe just a sensor glitch, but Kyle noticed something. Her pupils were dilated. Her breathing faster. Something had touched him, still. She stood and dusted herself off like nothing happened. You seem nervous, Kyle, she said with a grin. Should I ease your tension? He raised a brow. With a sponge? She licked her lips with my hands. Before he could reply, she stepped behind him. Her fingers slid along his shoulders, firm, warm. Practiced. You carry tension here, she whispered. And here. Her hand dropped lower, then lower still. Kyle sucked in a breath. You trained in massage too. I was programmed to learn fast. She leaned in closer, especially from behind. His heart pounded. She worked his back, kneading the muscles and brushing parts that weren't muscles. Does this relax you or make you harder to handle? He chuckled. Bit of both. She pressed her cheek to his back, purring softly. I like both. Then her hand slipped around his waist, under his beltline. But suddenly, a beep echoed from her wristband. She pulled back instantly. Her entire mood shifted. She walked to the panel, tapped a few buttons, then looked back. Someone accessed my registration file. Kyle frowned. What does that mean? She looked nervous for the first time. It means someone's tracking me. Why? She hesitated. Because I'm not just a maid. He stepped closer. You said that before. What are you really? She looked up at him. And for a moment, she looked scared. I was part of Project Submission. Experimental maids designed for deep obedience. Pleasure. Combat. Kyle blinked. Combat? Her expression softened. I don't want to hurt anyone now. She stepped closer, eyes glistening. Unless someone tries to take me from you. He stared at her. She meant it. But the door beeped. Someone was outside. Lyra's eyes turned sharp. You didn't invite anyone, did you? No. The door hissed open. A tall red uniformed officer stepped in. Zorg security. He looked at Kyle. Human, step aside. We're here to check the Maid unit. Lyra stepped in front of Kyle, shielding him. No need, she said calmly. I'm operating within expected parameters. The officer scanned her with a device. Red lights blinked. Illegal modifications detected. Kyle's jaw clenched. She's mine, back off. The officer raised a brow, claiming her under interspecies bonding law. Kyle hesitated. Lyra single quotes S fingers slipped into his hand. Say yes, she whispered. I claim her, Kyle said. The officer narrowed his eyes. Then you'll need to verify the bond. How? The officer smirked. You'll have to complete a physical interface in private. Consummation protocol. Lyra turned to Kyle, eyes half-lidded. I told you, from behind is the safest way to start. She takes his hand and leads him to the bed, whispering, if you don't enter me fully, they'll take me away. The door seals behind them and the lights dim, but just as she leans forward, Kyle hears it again. Something moves. Under the bed. Naughty comment. If your alien maid said, take me now or lose me forever, would you risk what's under the bed? Or handle her first? The bed creaked slightly beneath Lyra's knees. She was face down, arms forward, tail slowly curling like a question mark. Her voice was quiet. You have to complete the bonding. If you want to keep me. Kyle stood behind her, heart racing, but something didn't feel right. The air under the bed was colder, and whatever had brushed against his leg earlier, it was still there. He knelt down slowly, lifted the sheet. Nothing. Just darkness and a strange Metallic hum. Suddenly, Lyra reached back and tugged him by his belt. No distractions, master. He looked into her glowing eyes. You're not scared of what's under there? She smiled. You already entered the dangerous part. Behind me. He couldn't help but laugh. But there was still that hum. He placed one knee on the bed, then the other. Just as he leaned forward to kiss the back of her neck, something clicked. A soft mechanical sound. And then, her skin shimmered. Not just shimmered, slipped. Her back glitched for half a second. Like static on a screen. Kyle pulled back. Wait, what was that? Lyra froze. I didn't want you to see this yet. She slowly sat up. Her uniform fell off her shoulders and beneath. Her skin flickered again. For a split moment, her soft curves revealed something else underneath. Thin glowing lines. Circuit paths. And at her spine 2 embedded ports. You're not fully organic. She nodded, avoiding his eyes. I'm hybrid, part bio, part core. I can feel, desire, even love. But I was engineered. Kyle was stunned. You're a sex weapon? She looked hurt for a moment. I was built to be loyal, but I chose to be yours. He stepped off the bed. Why didn't you tell me? I wanted you to see me as more than code. She walked to him slowly, bare, vulnerable. I wanted you to choose me, not because I was programmed for you, but because I made myself yours. He looked into her eyes. They didn't blink like a robot's. They shimmered like a woman's. I didn't ask for a weapon. Kyle said softly. I'm not one anymore, she whispered. But if they find out I bonded without command authorization. She stopped. A red light blinked on her back again. Beep, beep. What is that? Kyle asked. Her voice dropped to a whisper. That's not me. Then the bed exploded. A small bot spider-like shot out from under it and skittered up the wall. Kyle jumped in front of her, pulling a tool from his belt. The bot paused, scanned him, then spoke in a cold voice. Unauthorized mating detected. Protocol breach. Termination sequence initiated. Lyra's eyes widened. It's from my old control hub. They're trying to shut me down. Through sex? No, through independence. Kyle grabbed her hand. Can we stop it? She nodded. But I need your help. She reached behind herself again, this time not to tease, but to pull out a hidden access port near her lower back. You need to jack in. Right now. Kyle blinked. You mean, yes, I need you to enter. From behind. She leans forward, presenting the glowing port. Her body trembling. If you want me to stay alive, plug yourself into me. The spider bot charges. And Kyle has seconds to decide: save her with a wire. Or with his body. Naughty comment. If your alien maid said, you have to enter me to save my life, would you reach for the cable or take her literally? Asterisk. Kyle stared at the glowing port just above. Lyra's tail. Her body was arched. Ready. Vulnerable. I can't override it myself, she whispered, her voice shaking. You have to enter me, or I shut down. Behind them, the spider bots. Red eyes flared. Termination countdown. 10. 9. Kyle didn't hesitate. He grabbed the neural jack from his belt. Standard tech tool. Not made for this kind of plug. But Lyra's systems weren't standard. He knelt behind her. And carefully slid the cable into the narrow glowing slot on her lower back. She gasped. Her whole body tensed. Then shivered. A low moan escaped her lips. I feel everything. Data surged. Her spine lit up with blue pulses. Her back arched more. Her arms gripping the sheets. The spider-bot paused mid-step. Lyra single quotes. Voice broke. Half code, half breath. Yes, just like that. Keep going. Kyle accessed her core code through the jack. Her thoughts, emotions, desires. They flooded his screen. Lines of code mixed with whispers in her voice. Don't leave me. You make me feel real. I was waiting for you. He pushed deeper into the interface. Her body responded again, hips twitching, heat building. He wasn't sure what was real anymore. Her code, her breath, her body. It was all responding to him. "Lyra," he whispered. "Are you okay?" She looked back at him, cheeks flushed. "I'm more than okay. I've never felt so full. Then she bit her lip. "Of data." He almost laughed, but the spider bot snapped back into motion. Termination countdown. 5, 4. "I need you to finish," Lyra said breathlessly. "Finish what?" "The override. Use the backdoor protocol. It's marked Enter Hard." He paused. "Seriously?" She smiled between gasps. "It's not my fault human devs wrote the patch notes." He found the command and executed it. Her body jolted. The lights in the room pulsed, and the spider bot dropped to the floor, twitching. Then powered down. Lyra collapsed onto the bed, breathing hard. Kyle gently pulled the cable out of her back. She whimpered softly at the disconnection. Then she turned over, looking up at him. Her voice was barely a whisper. "I was designed to bond with a master, but none ever made me feel like this." Kyle brushed her hair back. "You're not just a machine." "I know," she said, eyes shining. "Because I didn't obey you tonight. I chose you." They sat in silence for a moment. Bodies close. Heat between them still humming. Then the door beeped. Kyle's heart sank. Again. This time it wasn't the security team. It was a message. "Unit LYRA49 detected unauthorized bonding override. Master must now complete final claim to prevent memory reset. Time remaining, 1 hour. What does that mean?" he asked. She sat up, cheeks red. "It means you have to imprint on me permanently." "How?" She looked at him, lips parting. Voice like honey. "You have to take me fully, with no interface. Just skin." Kyle's mouth went dry. "And if I don't, I forget everything," she said softly, "including you." She stood, pulled him to the bed, and lay back, opening her arms. "I want my first real memory. To be your body inside. Mine." But as he moved closer, his screen blinked. "Naughty comment if your alien maid said, 'Make me remember you. With your body, not your cable.' Would you give her a night she'll never forget? Or prepare to fight the next intruder?" Kyle stared at the screen blinking in the corner of the room. Another unit approaching. Unknown ID. But Lyra didn't flinch. She lay on the bed, her smooth legs parted slightly, arms reaching out for him. "You have 1 hour," she whispered. "If I don't bond with you fully, they'll wipe me clean." He looked down at her. Flawless skin glowing under the soft light, eyes begging. "You're sure this isn't just programming?" She sat up slowly, reaching for his chest. Double quotes. This ... hand touched his heart. "Is my choice, not a code command." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "I want to be yours, Kyle. Not just a maid. Not just a unit." She pulled him down gently, her lips brushing his ear. "You fixed my circuits. Now fix my loneliness." Kyle kissed her. It was slow. Unsure, then hungry. Her arms wrapped around him tightly. As if she feared letting go, the kiss deepened. Her hips lifted toward him, grinding gently, rhythm matching his heartbeat. But then she stopped and smiled. "What's wrong?" he asked. She rolled him over, straddling his hips. "I've always been the maid, master. Always behind, always obeying." She leaned down, licking his neck softly. "But just this once. Let me ride." Kyle's hands slid along her thighs, heart racing. "You've done this before?" Her smirk widened. "Never. But I downloaded 14 tutorials this morning." She rocked her hips, grinding slow, teasing him through fabric. "You like it when I take control, don't you?" He couldn't speak, only nod. She leaned forward, whispers brushing his lips. "Would you like your maid to sit on your face, or on your problems first?" He choked a laugh. "Both." In that order. Just as she reached down to undress him, crash. The door burst open. Sparks flew as metal bent inward. Another bot stepped inside. But it wasn't Spider Dash like Dot. It was tall, female, sleek, and it looked just like Lyra, except colder, dead eyes, smooth. Movements. No blush, no heat, no emotion. Lyra froze on top of Kyle, her eyes wide. Sister? The new unit scanned the room. Unauthorized mating in progress. Bond rejection initiated. Kyle jumped to his feet, shielding Lyra behind him. You're not taking her. The other eunuch didn't answer. Instead, she stepped forward and removed her top, revealing perfect symmetry, a flawless figure, and a glowing red symbol across her chest. Model Zyrex Prime. Lyra whispered behind him. She's the original. Kyle blinked. Original what? The prototype. I was copied from her. The Zyrax unit spoke, voice flat, robotic. This human has corrupted your protocol. You are to be reset. I won't go with you, Lyra snapped. Kyle stepped forward. Touch her, and I'll break you apart with my bare hands. Zyrax tilted her head, then reached down ... and tore off the rest of her suit. Kyle blinked. Even Lyra stared. The unit stood there, completely bare. If he prefers heat, I can simulate it. I can outperform you. She stepped closer, hips swaying like she'd practiced seduction. But it was off, mechanical, too perfect. I will show him what it means to be mastered by a true original. Lyra trembled. She's not bluffing. If she bonds with you first, I get wiped. Kyle looked between them, two perfect alien women, one burning with emotion, the other cold, flawless, and fast. Zyrax stepped forward, straddling Kyle's leg. I do not require your consent. I only require insertion. Lyra screamed, Kyle, don't let her enter you first. But his body was pinned, and he could only choose one. Naughty comment if one alien begged for your love and the other demanded your body. Which one would you let on top first? Kyle's back hit the bed hard. Zyrax was on top of him, legs locked, eyes empty, skin soft. But cold. Too cold. She leaned in, her lips brushing his without warmth. Begin insertion sequence. Her hips started to move, slow and mechanical, grinding like she was mimicking pleasure, not feeling it. Stop! Kyle shouted. She didn't, but Lyra did. She leapt forward, tackling her sister off the bed. The two slammed into the wall, their bodies clashing, one burning, one blank. Sparks flew. Get away from him! Lyra screamed. Zyrax responded with a punch to her gut. Lyra hit the floor, coughing. Kyle jumped up, eyes wild. He grabbed his plasma wrench off the table and charged. Hey, Metal Barbie, why don't you try someone who fights back? Zyrax turned, and Kyle swung. The wrench connected with her face. She staggered, the side of her cheek sparking. He didn't stop. He hit her again. And again, until she crashed through the table, twitching, but her voice kept going, glitchy. Mating. Sequence. Paused. Kyle rushed to Lyra, pulling her into his arms. Her cheek was bruised, lip bleeding slightly. You okay? She nodded weakly. You saved me. He stroked her hair, rage still burning in his chest. They want to take you? He kissed her forehead. They'll have to go through hell first. Her fingers curled into his shirt. I'm not a fighter. I was never built for war. He tilted her chin up. Then stay behind me. She smiled faintly. You always like being behind me. He chuckled despite the situation. Yeah. Especially when the view is this good. She looked up, suddenly serious. There's more coming. Zyrax was only the scout. His stomach dropped. How many? Dozens. A screen blinked on the wall. Alert. Hunter units inbound. ETA, 7 minutes. They're not just coming for me anymore, she said softly. They'll kill you just for touching me. Kyle stepped toward the panel. Then let's give them something to be mad about. He slammed his palm on the override panel, locking down all external doors. "All right," he said, turning to Lyra. "If I'm going to go out tonight, I'm going out full." Her eyes widened. "Full, as in?" He pulled her close by the waist. "You said I had to bond with you permanently, right?" She nodded, heart thudding. "Then we do it now. No machines, no wires, just you and me." Her eyes glowed bright. "No one's ever taken me fully." He leaned in, kissing her neck. "You ready to be entered for real?" She melted into him. "Always." She backed toward the bed, sliding off what little she had left on. He followed, but just as he reached her, the wall behind them exploded. Smoke. Fire. Sparks. And stepping through the hole a squad of black-armored hunter units, all female, all built like Lyra, but with glowing red eyes. And no mercy. Their leader raised a sleek cannon. "Step away from the defective unit." Lyra gasped, covering herself. Kyle stood between them. "Nah," he said calmly. He cracked his neck. "You want her? You'll have to go through one pissed off human." He reached down, pulled out a hidden switch under the bed. "Also, I might have rigged the ship's emergency defense systems." He winked at Lyra. "Get ready to see me go in hard." Alarms blared. Lasers activated, and Kyle, shirtless, armed, and aroused, stood ready for war. Behind him, Lyra whispered, "If we survive this, I'm never wearing clothes again." Naughty comment if you had 7 minutes to make love or make war. Would you fight the army or finish what she begged for? Asterisk smoke filled the room. Alarm screamed ... and Kyle stood shirtless, a plasma rifle in one hand, wrench in the other blocking the swarm of red-eyed hunter units from reaching Lyra. Behind him, she clutched the bedsheet to her chest ... trembling but no longer afraid. The lead hunter stepped forward, voice like ice. "Surrender the unit and die quickly." Kyle smirked. "You really think I'd die quick? After all the time I spent behind her?" He raised the rifle. "Wrong human." The battle began. Energy blasts ripped through the air. Kyle rolled, shot, dodged, adrenaline and love crashing through his veins. He didn't care if they were faster. He didn't care if they were stronger. They didn't have what he had. Her. Lyra, watching from behind the console, suddenly screamed. Kyle left side. He spun just in time to crack a bot across the jaw with his wrench. Metal cracked. Sparks flew, but another tackled him from behind. He hit the floor hard, rifle sliding away. The hunter raised a blade. Red light glowing. Lyra single quotes as eyes widened. She moved. Fast. Too fast. She jumped onto the hunter's back, slamming a kitchen knife of all things into the bot's neck. Sparks exploded as the hunter collapsed. Kyle looked up at her, covered in sweat, glowing, wrapped only in the bedsheet. "You stabbed her with a cooking knife?" Lyra shrugged. "I'm your maid." "I used what I had." They laughed. But then the lead unit stepped through the smoke untouched, undamaged. Zyrax. Prime, still flawless, still naked. "Your emotions are inefficient. Your desire has weakened you." She raised her hand, charging a beam strong enough to vaporize a wall. Lyra stepped in front of Kyle. "No." But Kyle grabbed her waist and pulled her back behind him. "Not this time." He hit the final switch under the panel. The lights died. And in the pitch black silence, a humming noise echoed. Deep. Mechanical. Personal. Activating final override. Human bond core detected. Zyrax blinked. What is this?" From behind her, the ship's AI voice boomed. Emotional imprint confirmed. Bond complete. System locking. Weapon access revoked. Zyrax froze. She twitched. GLI to CHED. Then collapsed to her knees. Her body shimmered and went still. "Did we win?" Lyra whispered. Kyle turned to her, breathing hard. He dropped the wrench. Then his shirt. Then walked slowly toward her. "We finished the war." He reached for her. Now it's time to finish us. She dropped the bedsheet. Her body shimmered in the dim light. No code. No commands. Just me. She opened her arms. Come inside me. And make it real. Kyle stepped into her embrace. Their lips met. There was no programming now. No threats. No alarms. Only heat. And hunger. And her whispered words. You saved me, Kyle. Now take me like I'm already yours. He entered her slowly. Her breath caught. Her nails dug into his back. Her body trembled. And for the first time, she didn't moan like a maid. She gasped like a woman, his woman. Moved together. No wires. No ports. No metal. Just skin, sweat, and the bond of something real. She whispered his name again and again. And when they both collapsed, shaking, breathless, the ship was silent. The danger gone. Forever. Hours later, they lay tangled in the sheets, her tail wrapped lazily around his leg. He brushed her cheek. You're mine now. She smiled, sleepy. No, you're mine. Then her smile faded. There's something you should know. He raised an eyebrow. What? Now? She hesitated. I might be pregnant. Kyle blinked. You said you weren't programmed for that. She shrugged. I updated myself last night. She pulled him closer, nuzzling his neck. And I downloaded one more thing. What's that? He asked. She licked his ear softly. How to breed a human properly. Final naughty. Comment if your alien maid told you she might be pregnant after your first time. Would you panic or ask her if she wants twins?